We're going.
We're live.
We're live. Okay. Yes. Woohoo! Here we are.
Yay.
All right. We're recording this morning for the Homeschool High School podcast.
Yay!
I'm Sabrina.
Oh, and I'm Vicki.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know if we should go in the order we're sitting or the order that we always go. And I'm Kim.
And
It
we're
should be
totally
the order that we always
distracted because we see ourselves.
We are. We see ourselves,
Yeah,
and it's like when my granddaughter when you hold the phone up in front of her and she can see herself, and she's all just like, oh, look at me, I'm awesome. So we're like, oh, look at us, we're awesome.
I was going to say, wow, it's like looking in the mirror.
Well, it's that too. Except there's this very slight delay, which
There
is
is.
rather
A little
unsettling.
unnerving.
So, all right. Anyway, we're now going to actually do what we're supposed to be doing, which is recording. So,
All right.
we
Yes,
ready?
let's.
Yes. Here we go. Okay. Hello, homeschool friends, and welcome to this episode of the Homeschool High School podcast from 7Sisters Homeschool.com, brought to you by the Ultimate Homeschool Radio Network. I'm Sabrina, and I'm here today with
Vicki
and
Kim.
and we're talking about all things homeschool high school because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yes. So today we are hopefully talking about something super duper practical.
Yeah.
Because teenagers are in that funky space between child and adult. And
Mhm.
one of the rites of passage is that first job.
Yeah.
So we talk with lots of parents of teens who are looking at their kid getting their first job,
Mhm.
and they are nervous about how to equip them to handle that.
Mhm.
And one of the worries that most of us think is silly, but one of the worries about homeschoolers is that they haven't had enough socialization
Right.
experiences to prepare them. So, we figured, hey, let's just practically look at what does your teen need to walk
Mhm.
into that first job experience, and what can you do to help prepare them?
Yeah. So we did an earlier episode on helping kids with the job hunt.
Yes.
But let's say they've got their very first job, not babysitting or shoveling snow for the neighbors, but a job where they fill out a W-4.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
All
the,
right.
the W-4 really just stopped us in our
Yeah,
tracks.
we had a number in this. I was going to say, I was proud of us that we came up with the right number because I was about to say W-2 because that's what
you get at the end of the year, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so
So we got the job.
real deal. They got the job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay, that's a big deal.
Yay.
That is a big deal.
All right.
Yeah.
So a lot of workplaces have some sort of new employee orientation,
Mhm.
right? In fact, almost all do
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point. It's the rare little mom and pop shop where your kid just shows up and starts to learn. You usually have to go to something
Yeah.
first. So what should our teens know before they walk into orientation for a new job?
Okay, so one of the things they need to know is that whether they're going to orientation or their first day on the job is that 15 minutes early is on time.
Oh, say that again.
So 15 minutes early is on time.
Yep. Do not cut it close.
Mhm.
That is an automatic, huge message that gets sent to anyone in a supervisor position
Yeah.
when you walk in the door 30 seconds before you were
Mhm.
supposed to be there. It looks very bad.
Yeah.
And you will probably have to stand around for a few minutes and feel
Mhm.
uncomfortable because you got there early.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. That also sends a message that it was worth it to you to stand around and feel uncomfortable in order to be very sure that you were on time.
Which is a really good life skill, is that all of us need to learn that we can survive feeling uncomfortable for a few minutes.
Yes.
And we can wait. Like, it's okay for us to be the one to wait as opposed to
Right.
keep everyone else waiting for us. And I am
Oh my
being-
gosh, say that one again. That was
That's
awesome.
profound.
Yeah, I have to learn to live it, right? And what did I say? I said it's okay for us to wait rather than have everyone else waiting for us.
That's
And
I-
that's
this
a
is-
T-shirt for Kim
This
to
is
design.
this is
That's
life
right.
lesson for me, right? This is still a challenge for me personally, and how important it is when you do have that job. And it's also when you're kind of killing that time, if you are there early, find a way to do it so that you're not standing there looking at the person okay, how many more seconds until I can jump in and either sometimes they may say, oh great, you're early, come on, I'll get you started on your video or whatever.
Mhm.
Or they might say, let them know you're there and then just find a place to sit where you're not kind of in their way and not making them uncomfortable.
Should they pull out their cell phone and play a game on it?
No. Ideally, their cell phone should be set on silent and tucked away somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. It looks bad. It looks bad.
Yeah.
You should be excited enough about your first day and your first job that you look like you are fully engaged in looking around the new place and observing the people and prepping your brain to focus on your new job.
So at least give, as our kids say, give the illusion, that you're excited about being there on your first day.
You know what? I was sitting here thinking that as Kim was talking about the waiting thing, which was just so profound.
We're just amusing ourselves today.
We
with
are.
our profundity.
We're giving the illusion of profundity. But I was thinking there is something to be said for having a little bit of acting skills.
Uh-huh.
Walking into a new job is not a place where you are going to feel comfortable.
Oh, no,
It's
yes.
all new. And you
Mhm.
should pretend like you should play the role of someone who is looking forward to this new
Yes.
adventure, who is quite certain that it's going
Yes.
to go well, who feels confident in their own ability to learn this job and to do it well. You should look like you're eager and confident and on board, even if you are feeling nervous, awkward, bored while you're waiting, all that stuff. Yeah, play a part.
It really does help to think that out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like, I am going to go in there and I'm going to give the illusion of being excited to be there and that I'm confident and eager to help. Sometimes it helps before they walk in the door to put their hands on their hips for 15 seconds.
All right.
So count to 15. So arms akimbo helps the body release testosterone, which
Get
is,
out.
yeah,
That's
isn't that
cool.
It's free. And
Didn't know that.
and so you have this boost of confidence. So even us girls with a little boost of testosterone, we feel more able to
Right.
do.
Confident.
So yeah.
And I would challenge you, be excited. If you're not excited, be grateful. Be grateful that you have this job. Maybe it isn't the job that you wanted. You know, no disrespect to McDonald's. I spent 5 years there and I learned a ton. You know, maybe it isn't the job that you thought you wanted or that you thought you wanted your homeschooler to have for their first job, but be grateful you have a job and think, how can I, in this place where God has put me, how can I be a blessing to other people? That can take any job and make it a whole lot more
Right.
fun and exciting and be able to be joyful when you're there,
Right.
even if you generally don't love picking up dog poop if you're working at the dog, the dog
daycare.
thing or cleaning a bathroom or whatever it is that you do as part of your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get into either the orientation process or the first steps of training. And let's talk about the asking questions thing, because this is a double-edged sword. You should absolutely be unafraid to be humble enough to ask questions.
Oh my.
And don't just assume, okay, well, they think I know that, and I don't actually know what they're talking about, but I'm just going to pretend like I do. No, that's no good. That's going to come back to bite you later. At the same time, sometimes homeschoolers, let's just do the stereotype, sometimes homeschoolers are too accustomed to immediately asking questions, making it all personal about them, and not first walking through the process. Because if this is an orientation especially, it has a step-by-step bullet point script that the manager is following. You should listen to what they're telling you before you start asking questions. At least try to just stick with the program.
I'm just imagining all of our teens in our co-op classes or the group classes, and we encourage that robust discussion and asking questions, and to switch over to, no, I'm just supposed to be cute and quiet here, is like, that's a big change
It's hard.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, and pay attention to the person who's leading this. They might have led this 16 times and they might be like, oh, please have a conversation. This is so boring for me. Or they might be, just let me get through this. And then you can ask your questions.
And they say, any questions?
Yeah.
And then you can ask. Yeah.
So that takes me back a little bit, which is if you are coming to an orientation, have something to jot down some questions or some notes on so that you
not your phone.
can. Yeah, well, and you can ask. I mean, maybe it's totally fine, but make sure that it's not looking like you're playing, getting on Facebook or, Snapchat. Don't Snapchat during your orientation.
Oh, my.
Exactly. Ask, can I have,
ask is good.
what
All right,
can
I take it back.
what can I do?
I was being really anti-phone.
It depends on the culture, and pay attention to the culture.
And know yourself. Even if
Yes,
the manager
right.
says it's fine to take notes on your phone, if you know that having your note app open on your phone, you're still going to be checking Snapchat. If you can't trust yourself, then just don't.
There you go.
Or if you're going to learn it better, if you actually write it with your hand and form letters.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We're looking for the leader, the manager, the teacher, the whatever, to set the tone for how that interaction is going to go. And then when they do ask any questions, let your questions indicate that you were paying attention. So be thinking toward that if I'm going to have any questions at the end, what am I noticing that I pretty much understood, but let me just clarify this. Let your question be something clear and specific. Because that is, not only is it going to get you information you need, and it's going to let the manager know that you were paying attention and all, it's going to boost your confidence again. You're going to feel like, I just asked an intelligent question. I'm doing this okay. I'm stepping into this new environment, and I'm doing it well. Yeah.
Very good.
Whether your arms akimbo and boosting your testosterone or not.
And smile.
Smile
Smile at the people. Like when you get there, greet the person who you're looking for. Don't just, even if you're being respectful and polite, just kind of sitting there like this, have a little bit of, and if you
for those who were listening, what Kim did,
what I just did,
what she was doing is she was leaning her head forward and shrinking her shoulders into her chin. And so
clasping her hands in front of her.
Yes. And just looking very, very inward and uncomfortable.
Yeah, because that's how we do when we're nervous. But when we want to be joining a culture or showing our eagerness to do a new job, we want to put those shoulders back, chin up, and that smile.
Yeah.
All right, so some training has taken place, and now we are turned loose on our first task, and we're doing whatever. Chances are pretty good that the first task or two that you're taught in your new job, you're going to get finished fairly quickly, or it's going to be very monotonous. It's going to start out simple. And again, there is this delicate balance. I'm thinking of restaurants and retail because that's where so many young people start out. So there will be rushes where it's just going to be overwhelming, and you're going to be swamped, and you're going to hustle. And there are also going to be dead spots. And there's just not much else to do right now for what you've been told to do. And it's good to think that through before you get there and to be mentally prepared for that's okay.